So we're back for another day, and today I want to talk to you a little bit more about the LinkedIn algorithm, because I'm seeing more and more information about it over the last few weeks, and there's lots of things which people are kind of giving advice around, and I think it's time to kind of give my honest thoughts on it. So you may or may not have heard of an update called 360 Brew that was going around, and I saw this about 6 months ago. And there's been well-known influencers in the LinkedIn space talking about it. And it was a little micro test. So I saw that LinkedIn had released something around doing like a little micro test around some updates to whether they were using the platform or testing the platform. However, nothing had been confirmed. And what I then saw were courses being rolled out around it, big reports being written around it. And I sit here and I'm like, there's nothing being confirmed yet. And this is the big of the danger in this education LinkedIn world, really. And it's the fact that when someone speaks confidently around a certain subject, they can almost get you to believe anything. And so what I always say to every single person is go and do a little bit of research on what that person's opinion is before you take it as gospel, before you take it as true. And if you just Google 360 Brew, you can see that actually a lot of it is pretty much nonsense, and it's been confirmed by LinkedIn itself that it never went ahead with it. So take some advice, like from me here, because I do this. I give this advice to myself because I watch these things and even I get taken in sometimes. The advice that people give, they're doing it, there's a selfish reason for it. It's typically because they make money from it. So take it with a pinch of salt and test things, and if it doesn't work for you, then move on. Now, my thoughts around the LinkedIn algorithm at the moment hasn't really changed, and there's some things that I think you'll find quite useful in this that allows me to, number one, get eyeballs on the content that I want to be seen. So, like as an example, if you want to get 100,000 impressions on this platform, it's not hard to, right? I did it the other day. Talk about something really, really polarizing, really, really topical that everyone's got an opinion on, because LinkedIn is an opinion generated platform. It is driven by opinions. It is driven by people talking to each other. And the more you can trigger people, the more views you're going to get. Now, that doesn't mean it's good for your business, right? So there's a big thing here, and there's a balance to be had, which I'm going to explain. And it's something that I think about every single day. So like I did a politics post, just a test about a week or so ago. It reached 100,000 people. Did it do anything for my business? No, not really. Did it probably do more harm than good? Probably, in the grand scheme of things. Does it affect us? Really? Not really. But those views didn't really mean anything. And there are some people out there that will teach these views and turning that into business, and they promise that they can do it. And unfortunately, they can't. I've never seen it. I've tested it hundreds of times. I've looked at people's accounts after they've worked with these people. They're not generating any business. They're able to get millions of views, but the conversion is what people want, but they aren't able to get it. And so there's a balance to be had when you're creating your content, which I don't want to overcomplicate. But quite simply, the way to be actually generating business on platforms like LinkedIn right now is, number one, you've got to be seen. And you've got to be seen talking about the thing that you want to be known for. And that therefore means that most people default to providing education, tips, documentation, those sorts of things. But then you meet the difficulty where people don't really care about that. People aren't on LinkedIn to do that sort of stuff. And so what you've got to make sure that you do is focus in on making the content as close to the topics that people are interested in as possible. So if you can find a way to combine, let's say you're a recruitment consultant, if you can find a way to tie in a recruitment piece of content to something in the news, it's going to do well, and you're staying on point and it's staying relevant. That's kind of like the simplest way for me to put it. So when I'm talking about social media advice, I will find something that I do. I talk about brand building quite a lot. I will find some of the biggest brands that are out there. Stephen Bartlett's one that comes to mind this morning. I see a polarizing piece of content that he did that everyone's kind of jumping on at the moment, of him drinking 3 glasses of wine and saying that it's ruined the next 3 days of his life. Like, there's lots of people that are jumping on that trend at the moment and kind of ripping into it. And I could actually say, use that clip and then give like brand positioning advice and direction advice that people would find valuable, but I used and grabbed the attention from that clip. So there's different things that you can do. And if you want me to talk about like more about the algorithm and kind of like the way that it works and the way to kind of, I guess, gamify it a little bit, just let me know below. Put the word algorithm below or something, and I'll do a video on it. But you've got to make sure that when you're planning out your content or thinking about your content, that You're not just creating it pointlessly. Like the amount of time that I spend reviewing what it is that I do every single day and go, right, what are the things that people are going to be interested in for me to talk about in these videos? The LinkedIn algorithm is just one thing out of 100 that I managed to come up with, and hopefully you find this stuff interesting. And if you don't, the views and the numbers and the engagement will tell me, right? That's going to be a thing. Now, I don't want to go too deep into this because I feel like it will overwhelm everybody, but every day what I'm thinking about is those things. It's how do I link something that's going on in the world with what it is that I do? And it's that balance. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But what happens with the way that the logic works behind this, and what I've always thought about when it comes to like a social media strategy, is that number one, I've got to be seen, then I've got to be remembered, and then I've got to try and generate curiosity. They're the things, like be seen, be remembered, generate curiosity. Being seen therefore means I've got to get my face out there. Being remembered means that I've got to talk about something that's relevant to the person that's watching it. And then generating curiosity comes from dangling a carrot out there to see if anyone's interested in what I've got to offer and what I specialize in. And I've done this with hundreds of different industries now, and it works really, really well. So if you are struggling with it, try and think about something that's going on in the world and how you can tie it to what it is that you do. It's your first step. I'll do more and more of this as you go, and apologies if I sound like out of breath. I'm still fighting with whether it's hay fever or a cold or what. I'm still struggling with it at the moment, so I'm making sure that I get these videos done either way. Just make sure that you've got the content that I've promised you. And over the next couple of days, I'm going to be talking a bit about the direct messaging we're doing. I'm going to be talking about the webinar growth. I'm going to be talking about our road to 300 members inside of Scylla and what we're doing there. But just let me know, by the way, if you've got any questions or any topics that you want me to cover, drop them in the comment section. If you could like the video, if you do enjoy them. Apparently it does something for the algorithm. I've had videos that have got hundreds of likes, but again, for me, it just goes to show whether you're actually enjoying this form of content or not, because it doesn't take a lot of thinking for me, but the time to put it together and making sure that I record it does. So just let me know, just hit that like button, drop a comment below if you have any questions or you've got any topics that you think would be really, really useful. 360 Brew, ignore it. If you see anything about it, it's a red flag. Right, that's your red flag. If you see someone talk about that, do not listen to them because it does not exist. Have a good day. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.